stance, don't notice I'm about to dance. I keep my shit tight, cause any moment I'm throwing hands and blowing up on your man. Can't own them on demand. Fight of the night, bitch, I'll put ice on my corner, man. Coming for the win, no weakness. Kote on the mission, no secret.
Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a una nueva entrevista en Fordewin MMA. El día de hoy me acompaña una amiga de la casa. Estoy con la reciente ganadora de UFC 262, Andrea KGB Lee. Vamos a hablar en inglés en esta ocasión porque ella no habla español, así que bienvenidos, ahí la ven. Hi Andrea, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Cody,
Well,
how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So happy that we could connect. First of all, congratulations on your win. It was amazing. It was a long time coming for the KGB fans, the actual finish in the organization, and now you got it done. How does it feel to get that out of the way?
Man, it feels so good. And getting a finish for the first time in the UFC feels really good. I'm just really happy about my performance, and I'm excited that, it just went my way this time. And we went in there with a game plan, and, we executed it, and I'm happy about it.
Having that first UFC win must have felt great. Let's talk about the first part of the fight, before the fight. The first fight is the weigh-ins. You look great in there. How was all that preparation, and how was the role that Tony provided for you during the preparation for your camp?
Well, Tony helped out a lot during this camp. I mean, he really was on top of everything for me. He helped me maintain my diet and my vitamins. He made sure that I was on top of everything, and he was there for me, helping me out with clinch and everything that we went over. We worked a lot out of my own garage. Like we turned the garage into an area for us to train out of, and so he was one of my main training partners. Preparing for this fight. So I'd say that Tony definitely played a big part, and he helped me along the way, and he was constantly motivating me and just trying to make me believe in myself, again. And I'm happy that he was there, and I'm happy that he was in my corner, and I think it meant a lot.
Well, you said that Tony helped you believe in yourself. Am I learning through this that maybe you had a bit of a situation where the trust wasn't there as much? Is that the case with you? Since you're coming from all this hard streak and you finally broke it, split decisions, it was hard. It was difficult for you to get it popping, right? So were you facing some sort of a trust issue or something like that ahead of this fight?
I wouldn't say there's no trust issue with me and Tony. Probably more doubt in myself. I think just having those last three losses, it starts to play a part, and it can mess with your head, and doubt can be like a tiny little seed, that plants and it grows, and I feel like I really just had to overcome all of that again, and just force myself to believe in my abilities. And, believe that I was a lot better than I was letting myself think that I was. And, I just wanted to go out there and show that to everybody and just fight without any limitations. Because I feel like in the last couple of fights, I've put limits on myself. With Roxanne, for example, I'm thinking, okay, her ground is better than mine. So I don't want to be on my back because, if I'm on my back, she's winning the fight. And she wins a lot of fight by getting a lot of ride time. And she scores a lot of takedown stuff. So here I am thinking, okay, I have to keep it standing. I don't have to do anything. I mean, I could have, been confident in myself, and I could have fought her everywhere. But I doubted myself, and so that made me a little bit reckless in situations and in a lot. I didn't believe in myself. And then again with Joanne Calderwood, I'm thinking, okay, her clinch is really good, and she likes to she can catch kicks, so I don't want to throw too many kicks to the body. And I don't want to be in the clinch with her because her clinch gets. That's what I'm talking about. Limiting. I was putting limitations on myself. I'm good everywhere, and I just needed to believe that.
Yeah, I get you. That imposter syndrome that gets you sometimes. It's a hard thing to shake off. But I'm really happy that you did, and the way you did it, my God, it was amazing. The stage was the best one for you to do it. It was in Houston, Texas, with the fans in the crowd there. How did that feel? Because you've been around the block for a while now. You debuted here in my country. That's how we became familiar with each other. And you had a crowd here. You had a good time here. And then you fought through the pandemic. It was kind of different. What was it like to come back to Houston nonetheless and deliver such a performance?
Man, it was good just to be back in Texas and just have all of the fans in the stand, and just have the crowd there, because it really helped. The energy helped me out a lot. I mean, when I fought in Chile, my UFC debut, I walked out, and that's really kind of what this felt like. I was making my debut again, because there was fans there. It just felt new again, and it felt like for the first time, in a long time. So I felt like it was like a debut fight in front of people. And whenever I fought in Chile, I remember walking out. I mean, I was thinking, just having tunnel vision and just focusing on getting to the cage. But then I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to look around. I want to look at my fans who's yelling at me and cheering for me, and I want to take it all in.
Right.
And so I did that. And, I looked around, I had people like waving at me, and like, go KGB, kick some ass, and I'm just like, thank you. I'm so glad that y'all are here. I'm just so happy, I'm waving and I'm dapping people up. I mean, it just made me feel good. The energy was great. And I had that. I think all of the fighters had that, because there was a lot of finishes on that card.
Yeah, it was a great card.
Great.
Yeah, well,
all the fights were great. I think the crowd had a lot to do with that. Plus the 75,000 bonus incentive.
Yeah, the everything's bigger in Texas deal. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah. I was so bummed out that you didn't get one, because we saw Antonina Shevchenko across from you. She's a formidable opponent, and she has this style, this striking heavy style. I was wondering, what was your thought coming into the fight? What were you expecting, and how did that expectation met what you actually got in the cage with her?
Well, the expectations going in was that I believed that if we ended up clinching, I knew I was going to be able to take her down. I knew I would be able to get a takedown, and I felt confident in that. And I knew that if it went to the ground, that I was going to dominate there.
Right.
Now, striking, I wasn't so sure. I mean, I didn't think that I wasn't going to dominate. I just thought that it might be tit for tat, and I figured she might be better at a few things, like in the clinch. She's really strong in the plum clinch, a full and plum. And then she's also got a really good cheap kick. And then she's southpaw, so maybe that gives her a little bit of an advantage, because I haven't fought a whole lot of southpaws, but I've trained a lot with southpaws. So I didn't think that there was going to be like a wide advantage that she was going to have over me. So I did go in the fight confident, about that. I just didn't want to run into a front kick. She likes to throw front kicks up the middle, to the face. And that was one thing, like you can think about, like, I don't want to get stopped by a front kick. You know what I mean? So I think that was really the only thing that I was thinking about, was she has a really good straight left and a really good teep kick up the middle. And then she's really good in the plum clinch. But other than that, I felt like, I had a very good advantage over her.
So, Andrea, before the fight, was the submission angle something that you guys saw in preparation for this fight? Like, was that the actual plan, or was it something that came up from the exchanges for you?
Well, going into the fight, actually backstage, Tony and I, we were moving around. We were kind of like doing a little bit of a light sparring. He was just letting me work. He was moving around and letting me work. And we ended up in a position on the ground. Same thing, I ended up in the mounted triangle, like transitioning into the mounted triangle. And then I was just thinking, okay, throwing elbows. If I can't get the triangle, I'm going for the arm bar. So, it was something that we kind of like just happened to go over in the back. But I felt like I had been catching a lot of triangles during my training camp. And so I knew it was a possibility that something like that could happen. If I ended up in top control, I felt like it could happen, but anything could happen. Did I go in there like enforce it or think that it was that was the game plan or whatever? It wasn't necessarily a game plan, but it did play out like we went over in the back, which is crazy. Because it was just something that I was just trying. I was just like, well, this is here, so I'm gonna like turn this over into a triangle, and then it just sometimes it works out that way. practice something in the back, and then you go out there, and then it just happens to be what happens in the fight. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does.
Well, it happened for you, and it happened in such a way. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to watch the pictures out there show it. It was a really technical submission. You had a lot of control during that. There were a couple of moments that maybe I felt that you might have locked it up sooner than that. But yeah, I'm being the quarterback from the couch in my house, right? It's not the same. But what I can say is that you looked amazing. You looked in top shape and top condition. You looked amazing. And I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about all this just a few days away from it? Because when you get into the media room with all the journalists right after the fight, I know it's really hard to try to plan everything out, to map out the future, but right now you had a few days. Does it change in any way the things that you said that day about the future? Is it still for you something that you don't really actually care who's in front of you as long as you get to compete? Or does the time right now provides a new name for you to focus on?
I mean, that still remains the same. Of course, I wanna fight top 10 contenders, and I wanna get my shot. I wanna work towards that, but I just don't want to lose sight, like I have in the last couple of fights. With the pressure of like the rankings, and I mean, it does kind of play a part, I think.
Do you think it does? Do you think that currently the rankings put extra pressure on you in any way as a competitor?
I feel like sometimes, because people are like, oh, you're ranked number such and such. If you beat her, then you're going to move into, let's see, if I beat Joanne, I was going to move into the top 5, and then there was a possible, a potential fight that I could have matched up with like Valentina, So, I mean, yeah, all of that kind of does play a part because you just kind of lose sight of everything. You add unnecessary pressure to, a fight there's already pressure.
Do you think that this way of looking at the rankings, is it the right approach? I mean, do you feel that going into the future you won't be minding of rankings at all? Do you think that this embrace of just fighting for the fight is the right way to go for you?
I think maybe people might misunderstand me a little bit. Just because I'm not necessarily fighting for the rankings doesn't mean that I'm not fighting to move up in the rankings. I still am, but I just am saying that I don't want to focus on that.
Yeah, I understand. Well, the focus right now is going to be what's happening with Tony. He has a fight coming up. I know that you're deeply involved in his preparation. Is there anything you can share about that? We're going to see you in the corner, right?
Well, I don't know about that just yet. I may not be in the corner just because I feel like it's very important to have somebody in your corner that can bring something to the table, and I don't feel very confident like in my cornering skills. So I think that he should have somebody who can definitely help him and give him really good advice in the corner. But yeah. I do plan on being there leading up to the fight and helping him in any way that I can. Right now he's been focused on me for the past month and a half. He's been doing everything that he possibly can. He's been driving for me. He's trying to make everything smooth for me. So now it's my turn to do that for him.
Well, how has it been to get together with Tony? You both are active fighters. How's the daily life going with you guys?
I think it's going well. I want to say, like, in the beginning, I believe, it was a little hard just because, we're both, I was fresh off a divorce, and I wasn't necessarily wanting to mix our relationship with our work. But I mean, it's kind of hard. We're both fighters, and we live together, so we train together, and it's just kind of worked itself out. I think that it's gotten smooth over, of course, the time, and I've really grown to enjoy it and like it a lot. Just that we have each other and we feed off of each other. And I think that it's good that he has his career and I have mine.
Yeah, absolutely. why I read this subject is because since we've been in contact for so long, I've been really tracking your progression. And I have to say, I really see you fulfilled. I really see you happy right now. And I really see you in such a good place. So I want to give a little bit of a shout out to Tony because I know he has a hand on that as well. And you can tell. So, Andrea.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, we see you on social media. We see you guys are happy. We saw that picture with El Cucuy. It was such a fun week for me as a fan. So,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about the event, shall we? Because there was a lot of things going on. It was a great event, a lot of finishes. Do you have any favorites besides your own in terms of finishes for the night?
My favorite, I don't have any favorite finishes. I was really hoping that I would be the only one with finish.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How much did you feel about being cheated in such a way for not getting that extra Texas bonus?
Well, I guess I wasn't cheated. I mean, there was a lot of really good.
It's just a figure of
good
speech.
performance.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
no,
course.
I know. But yeah, no, I definitely feel, I mean, like, I feel like it could have been performance bonus worthy, you know, or at least submission of the night worthy, you know. I think he only gave out 2 bonuses though, so I think that was kind of like the catch-22.
They gave fight of the night to Edson Barbosa and Shane Burgos, and they gave a bonus to the Brazilian guy who broke Jacare's arm. The name is like eluding me so hard right now. I'm so sorry, but yeah, when I saw Jacare's arm pop, I was like, yeah, my girl's getting cheated out of the bonus. I can tell.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
I felt so too. When I heard that, I was like, dang it. You know, but then of course there was the Chandler fight, and that was really exciting.
How do you feel about all this Kukui situation? Because Tony had a tough outing, and Benny looked great, but I don't know. Since everybody's been talking about it, I just wanted to get your take. How do you feel Tony's career is moving forward right now after 3 consecutive losses against the top of the division? Do you feel like they're elite guys, every single one of them?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that are taking Tony for dead or something like that. I don't, but we can sure tell that there's something going on. I don't know. What do you feel about this moment for Tony?
Man, like you said, he is fighting the top of the top. You know, I mean, he's fighting the best of the best, and it doesn't mean that he's like he needs to retire. I mean, he can still mock half the division, you know, if not most of the division. So I mean, maybe give him another fight, but maybe like not the number 1 contender, you know. Right. I just think that, you know, he needs to get that. Maybe he needs to get his confidence back. I mean, he looks pretty confident every time.
I mean, do you actually believe El Cucuy has a confidence issue? That's so weird. I don't think about it. But you know what I read the other day? I read about it, and it made sense for me. Maybe Cucuy and Cowboy can go for it. I would love that to see that fight.
I feel like I've heard someone else say that.
Yeah, I love that fight. So, well, let's hope that they can sort it out and we can get Tony in a good fight, hopefully against the Cowboy. It's going to be a hard one for me because I'm a Cowboy fan, like a diehard Cowboy fan. So it's going to be hard for the heart. But let's talk about that title fight, shall we? Oliveira, Chandler. It was a hectic fight. Did you get the chance to see it like up front? I don't know how the restrictions work there because I know there was a fighter during the pandemic that tried to stay through the fight, but they didn't let her. I don't know if it happened to you, if it was similar.
Yeah. We're not allowed. We have to go back to our rooms. We get to watch it in the hotel. So I did get to see it. I watched it in the hotel room. And, man, I mean, Chandler almost had him finished there in the first round. I think he shouldn't have let him recover by going to the ground with him, you know. But that happens in a lot of fights. A lot of fighters get excited and they just get caught up, you know. And when you have somebody rock like that, it's best to pick your shots, you know, make them a little bit cleaner. I would have loved to have seen Chandler win, you know, but, you know, good for Charlie Olives. Yes, because, you know, he's been at this a long time, you know. He deserves it. you know?
Yeah, he was on the grind for 11 years before getting his hands on the title. So yeah, good for Charles. I mean, I don't feel cheated in any way. Yeah, it was good for him. But yeah, I share with you this feeling that maybe we could have seen Chandler push the pace a bit at the end of that first round. Maybe things could have been different. But this is MMA math. It's always complicated. It's always kind of annoying. But the thing is, we have a new champion. It was an epic fight. And you were a part of that card, that historic card too. So Andrea, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're coming back home after the fight, so I really appreciate that you could squeeze us in to talk about all this. So before I let you go, of course, I want to give you a chance to talk to all the fans, and if you want to say something to the Latin American audiences as well. So
okay, well, I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, no, I mean, let me ask you something. Do you remember that time that we went out after the fights and I taught you a few Spanish words? Do you even remember? Yeah, on the rooftop in Santiago. Do you remember it? Or do you remember the words?
Oh, of course I remember that. That was.
Do you remember the actual words?
No.
No? Want to give it a try?
You want to help me?
Yeah, of course. Lo pasé la raja.
Oh my lord! Say it again.
Lo pasé la raja.
Y'all are gonna laugh at me. Lo pasé. No.
Lo pasé
la raja.
La raja. Yeah, you got that part going on just fine. Yeah, it was amazing, and it is amazing still today. Andrea, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate you. Best of luck on everything coming your way. I'm really hoping that you get a big name next and we can finally see you making the real climb. So thank you so much.
Too. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Chile, and all of my Latino fans in Latin America. I love you guys. And hopefully we can do this again soon. I won't stand you up, I promise.
You won't. You'll always be here with us. Thank you for being in For the Win, Andrea. Take care.
Yes, you too.
Flick of the wrist, don't sleep, please come for your head, you need Jesus.